SEC Media Days has been going on a long, long time, much longer than the other conferences. Kentucky has rarely been a focus, sometimes bypassed by much of the media. One of those, okay, we can take our lunch now, but those days are over. Those days are over. This is a well-established football program under Mark Stoops. And of course, we talk Kentucky football, as we always do, with Kevin McGuffey from Last Word on College Football. Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing good, Mark. Thanks for having me on. We like 30 seconds into this, and I could throw like shade at Vanderbilt or something, but because allegedly,
I said from some semblance of experience, because I went to 7 consecutive SEC Media Days.
Right? Yeah.
There would be, we cover our teams, and I was covering Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Alabama at the time, and then of course Tennessee was really good at the time, and Florida, and you'd go make sure you caught Spurrier and Fulmer and I'd hear the conversations in the hall that, okay, it's Kentucky, we can go take some lunch or whatever.
Yeah. Now, like I said, obviously I wasn't there. I was just watching it on TV, but you did hear rumblings that when Vandy and Carkley came out that, the room kind of thinned a little bit. So, but anyway, like you said, it's nice for right now for Kentucky to not be in that situation. And as you and I have talked many times, where this program is now from where it was 10 years ago when Stoops took over is just flat out amazing. How bad the program was and where it is now to where, they're a legitimate, I think, second best team in the SEC East. Some people think Tennessee, some people are all aboard the South Carolina hype train this year with Spencer Rattler. So, like I said, it's nice to be to use whatever cliche, it's nice to be sitting at the big kids table, for lack of a better term. So that's the way I'm looking at it. But anyway.
Yeah, Kevin, I wouldn't be surprised if any of the teams that you just mentioned, including throw Florida in there, would finish second in the East. But Kentucky has earned, based on last year's performance and about the last 4 to 5 years' performance and the decline of Florida, has earned that, okay, at least until proven otherwise, we're the second best team / program in the SEC Eastern Division. Was there anything that Mark Stoops addressed or was asked that caught your ear?
Well, one of the biggest things I noticed, he seemed, Stoops has never been a big media guy. Sometimes it's like, okay, I have to do this, so let's just do it and get over with. He seemed a little more at ease, a little more, I'll say calm, but, a little more basically at ease. He made the joke, I think, at the beginning, I don't know, maybe he's been in Kentucky too long now. He's gotten into the bourbon industry. And he made the comment to Commissioner Sankey that, if some Sunday morning when after Kentucky's gotten like a bad call that, in a game that he'll forward a case of his bourbon to everybody at the SEC office, and so let them enjoy that while they're reflecting on the bad calls or whatever, just little things like that. I said he seemed very at ease. And, like I said, this is his 10th go around with this. He's the second longest tenured coach in the SEC now behind Saban. So, like I said, and as we said, it's just gone on and on and on, upward and upward. The one thing that the elephant in the room, so to speak, was the status of Chris Rodriguez. Now, for those who may not follow Kentucky that closely, he was arrested earlier this year on a DUI charge, had an issue with court date, and then subsequently, pled guilty. And he's going to miss, we're pretty sure, obviously, he's going to miss some games. But when things like this have happened before with disciplinary issues, usually Stoops has addressed them at media days because, just to get it out there and let everybody know what's going on. But yesterday he was like, well, when he was asked about Rodriguez, he said he's at home in Lexington, getting ready for the season, and didn't really comment anymore. It said it's an ongoing matter, and we're still looking into it. I mean, most people think that he's going to maybe get suspended a couple of games. Some friends and I were talking on Twitter saying that, could they suspend him for like games 1 and 3 or one, I know you can't do that, but the second game, of course, is Florida, and you want to have all your, you want to have your full arsenal when you go especially going to the Swamp. That was the biggest thing that I think a lot of people were listening for. And like I said, he didn't really, he just kind of said, we're still monitoring the situation. So that was, the one big thing, like I said, that people were listening for, that he really didn't, he addressed, but not really, any new information, as they like to say in the TV business, with the flashy graphics, new information.
No new information. We're waiting. No. Will Levis is gaining a lot of attention as well, not just within Kentucky circles or the SEC, but nationally. And I'm sure that every team has its dark horse Heisman candidate, like meaning dark horse Heisman candidates. But we're talking about a guy that is gaining national attention as being a legit contender for this trophy. When is the last time you can remember a Kentucky player being talked about nationally for the Heisman Trophy?
Recently, 2018, there was a little bit of talk with Benny Snell at the beginning of the season when he had, he ran off those really, really impressive games, four or five games to start the season. He got a little bit of buzz, and then it dropped off. Once you got into the meat of the conference schedule, it kind of dropped off. Before that, you probably got to go back to Tim Couch, which is I think he finished fourth in the Heisman balloting, I believe it was, in 98. I think that was the year Charles Woodson won, I believe.
Yes.
Woodson
was 97, yeah.
97. Man, I can't, yeah. It was not, it would have been after the 98
Ricky Williams. Yep.
Yeah, when he was, taken by the expansion Browns in the number one pick. And I always like to say he gets a bad rap. Couch had a much better NFL career than people want to give him credit for. And until Mayfield got him to the play, he was the last quarterback to get the Browns to the playoffs. Even though he didn't get to play, he got hurt, I think, in the last game of the season. So he actually didn't get to play. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. To go back to your point, probably Tim Couch. And, maybe Andre Woodson, 2007, maybe a little bit. He got a little bit of hype there, when Kentucky had that 6-0 start. But then, of course, then they lost, like 4 of the next 6 after that. So that kind of went away. But Levis, he talked about, toyed with the idea of going to the NFL, in the draft. And, I think, went out with, maybe didn't get quite the feedback he was hoping for. And I think smartly came back this year. And he's, there's one, I can't remember, with CBS, one of the draft experts had him, as like a top 5 pick this year. But, most of them have a consensus, he's first round, has him as a first round pick. Just about everybody does. There'll be, and obviously that'll change as we go through the season. But yeah, it's really cool to have a Kentucky player, being talked about in such high circles. And he's worked really hard, with new offensive coordinator Rich Scangarello, trying to cut down the turnovers. If you watch Kentucky, Levis had a great season, but he had, interceptions were his biggest bugaboo, for lack of a better term. Just part of him, he just throws the ball so dang hard that, it bounced off the shoulder pads or bounced off the hands. If you go back and watch, a lot of those interceptions were on tip balls because they either bounced off, somewhere off the receiver. And, his progress, they said, has just been, from last year to this year has just been, has been not astronomical, but has just made great strides. And, we do, here at Last Word, throw a little plug in, we do a weekly, Jason Ray, who I know you talk with every week, just about with Oklahoma. He started this several years ago. We do a Heisman poll every year, and it runs every week up until they announce the Heisman. And he just sent out a thing the other day. Okay, I need your preseason Heisman. And I'm thinking, number 5, put Levis on there. Why not? Just as as a dark horse or whatever. Obviously, you're gonna have Bryce Young. You're gonna have those guys. But then why not? So I don't know. But we'll figure that one out. But yeah, no, like I said, it's really interesting and it's very exciting. As you and I said many times now, it's a very exciting time to be a UK football fan. And for somebody who's followed them since, showing my age, since the 70s, been through many, the long-suffering football fan, it's kind of nice to get to this part now, where you're excited. And I dare say that there's probably as many people excited about football season now as there is basketball. So when would you ever think you hear that in Kentucky? So